So I thought I might come out and show y'all some stuff in the garden today, but as there's standing water and no end in sight, we're just gonna go inside and start seeds. Let's do that. Here's my mix. All the stuff going on here on the table. There's lots going on here, but I'm really excited to get started with all of my seeds today. I'll be letting them germinate, then they'll be going under lights. So now let's go ahead and put the soil into the cups. This is a good sized cup because I'm gonna leave these in here for a while. I like Yellow Door Urban Gardening, shout out. If you don't watch her, she's great. Go ahead and give her a peek. And if you are watching me, Yellow Door, hi. I agree with her. I do not love potting up. I would love to avoid it if I can. So putting this in a taller cup will enable me to not have to pot up. And what pot up means is to take the seedlings once they grow in the cup and then put them in a larger container so that they can grow even more before you put them out in the ground. And in case you're wondering why I'm wearing this mask, it's because I tend to have sensitivity when dealing with bagged soils from the stores. So I just, rather than play with that, I just go ahead and put my mask on so that I don't have a kind of raw or scratchy throat after the fact. Keep the strongest one. So here I am pinching the soil over the hole. Alrighty, so the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this tray up in plastic bags to create a greenhouse effect and keep the moisture and humidity in, and put it under my couch so it's dark. So I'm ready to stick this under the couch. This is how I start seeds. I'm so excited. I'm good to go. Hey everybody. I wanted to show y'all something. I have been thinking about showing y'all this and just wasn't sure about it, but I did want to do it, and I actually had planned on doing it in the last video, but I decided I would go ahead and do it in this one. I have taken up in the last, I don't know, just like 2 weeks, a new hobby that, you know, it's a stressful season, particularly here in America, difficult time. You all know, and if you don't, I made a video about it a while back as well, but I lost my mom a year ago in February. I didn't share about it until, I don't know, I think I might have made the video in November or December. I can't remember when, but I made a video about it. But that's why I had gone away for quite some time. And I think my camera's crooked. Hold on. No, it's the picture. Oh, they're both crooked. Anyway, So it was a tough year. I had stopped recording for a while. I came back after about 9 months. It's been nice making videos again, but you know, definitely continuing to go to therapy. I had been going to therapy prior to that anyway. That's definitely a topic in therapy. Things are going in an interesting direction in America. And so, and I do a lot of work. My life is kind of impacted by the things that are happening. So I've been needing constructive outlets. Gardening is a huge one. Taking care of my chickens is a huge one. Trying to figure out things for our home, for our kind of homesteading context is a part of that. But I wanted to have something that I could do that was kind of slow in a different way and more personal. And I was thinking, I don't know, I actually been thinking about it like 6 weeks to a month, about starting to do a handcraft again. And I was like, I should try crocheting again, because when I was a kid, my mom used to crochet. She crocheted all the time. She crocheted me cute little outfits. I don't know that I'll be able to find a picture, but if I do, I'll show y'all. And when she passed, I was, you know, doing a lot of stuff in the house, and I found my little outfit. It was really sweet, finding out that she had saved that all those years. It was like green, yellow, and orange or something like that. Definitely the 70s colors. But at any rate, I was thinking I was like, I should start crocheting again. Because I had done it a little bit when I was younger. Not anything major, just blankets and stuff, like just the basic stitch. So I told my therapist a couple of weeks ago, I was thinking about doing that, and I was like, that's something that Mom used to do. And she was like, that sounds like a really good idea. That might be a good way to connect you, to kind of have something there, something special as a connection. So a couple of weeks ago, I was feeling particularly down. Actually, the anniversary of her death was February 7th. So that night, I believe, I asked Eric. It was just a hard day, right? It was not a fun day, difficult in some ways. So I asked Eric, I just wanted to be left alone. I was in my room. But that evening, I just said, hey, can you take me to Walmart? I want to go get some knitting, some crocheting supplies. So we went to Walmart, and I don't usually go to Walmart, but we went because I knew I could find that stuff there. And in the town I live, that's the easiest place to find stuff like that. So I went and I got some yarn, and I started crocheting, and I didn't know what I was going to do. Actually, the first thing I did was this little square. Let me show you. I got 2 sets of yarn. And the first thing I did, my first attempt at crocheting again, was this little square. I do like this yarn. It's fluffier and fuzzier. I definitely could not make straight lines. But it was my attempt, and I had fun with it. I bought, my ring light. I bought a bunch of yarn. I bought 2 of this one, which I thought was really pretty. It's super soft, right? It's very fluffy and loose yarn. I didn't research nothing. I didn't look up anything. I literally said, I'm gonna do this. Let's go to Walmart. So I bought a pack of needles. They're in this. They're super cute. And let me show you the needles. So it came like this, right? And I'm using the one from right here. And come to find out, like, you can flip it and then zip it up. I thought that was really cute. I didn't know that when I first bought it. Here's the gold one. And then this pink and lavender and purple yarn ball. And it was so pretty. I just said, I'm gonna grab that one too. And the yarn is definitely, oh shoot, I just pulled out a bunch of stitches. It's definitely thinner. So I started practicing with the other one. Let me see if I can get a better shot of that. Am I at the wrong? I am at the wrong end. Let me try the age-old YouTube trick. Does that work better? Yeah, that helps. There you go. So it has like silver threads through it, and the colors change as it goes along. So I started with the other one, but the other one was much thicker. I watched a video because YouTube University, kind of got reminded on the basics. And then I started, and I decided to do like 30 across, 30 stitches across, and said, I guess I'll make a scarf. And I just kept going, and I was going, and I was having a good time, and it was going well. And somewhere along here, I missed a stitch, didn't realize it, got to about here, realized it, went back, tried to fix it, but clearly I didn't. And the further along I went, the more stitches I ended up missing, like along the way, like just missing stitches. And a couple of days, no, maybe 4 days ago now, I realized it and was so discouraged because I was like this far by the time I realized I'm missing stitches, and I felt a little disheartened, and I felt like I wanted a nice scarf. It was like a nice memory of a time with my mom, of a not a time with her, but an experience that I shared with her. And also it was wanting to have this nice thing done, right? This perfect thing is what I realized I wanted to have. And so I reached out and asked friends, what do y'all think? Like, I said, this is my new hobby. It's been really special. I feel a nice connection to mom. And I feel like part of my upsetness was that this thing that I felt like was a good connection with mom and that I was doing so well actually was flawed. So I was trying to figure out if I was going to unravel it all the way back to this point here where the stitches go off and fix it. And I promise you, for the life of me, I could not find, and I still can't see where it went wrong. So I thought on it and thought on it, and I kind of came to the conclusion, and a friend shared too, which gave me a lot of really helpful input. Like, this is a journey, and handcrafting is a journey, and this is the first time I'm actually making something in decades, not a few years, like decades. And the imperfection of it is part of the process and an important part of this. And it just kind of made it a bit more dear and even more special. So I said, no, I'm going to leave it and I'm going to complete it. And because I wanted it to be a scarf, but it had clearly gotten much thinner, right, than where it had started, I just decided I would start widening it out gradually. So that's what I did. So I started like extending the edges. So now the two ends match lengthwise, but they certainly don't line up all the way across. Like, it's really funny. But it's my scarf, and it's my first thing that I made, and I feel like the imperfection of it in the process is good. Not just acceptable, but good, and in some ways like a part of the journey that I needed to keep, and representative of my relationship with my mom, and symbolic in a lot of ways. So this is it. This is all I have left now. So I wanted to show y'all, because I've been crocheting, y'all. I've been crocheting. And it's really not so hard. My mom did not know how to knit, so she never taught me how to knit, but she did teach me how to crochet, and I did have to go to the interwebs to kind of get a refresher. But now I'm excited because I'm gonna start making stuff. And I'm happy about that. So now that I feel like I've gotten a really good feel for this kind of thinner and more comfortable yarn, I do have to stop every now and then to make sure I grab the right spot. But now that I've done that, I'm gonna try that thicker yarn and see how that goes. That one is much wider and a little bit harder to work with. This was much easier, so I grabbed this one after I started with that one and found that this one was much easier to work with. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna be making stuff, y'all. We'll see how long I do it or whatever, but making me a scarf. A very Island of Misfit Toys type scarf, and I'm excited about it. So I just wanted to show y'all that. So I just went into the living room and dug in a basket that we have had for 15 years. Actually, we've had the basket, yeah, probably 15 years. I started this blanket before we left for Israel in 2011. It was supposed to be for Joshua, and we joked that, what if I don't get it done until you're like 10 because I'm just taking forever. He's 21. This is what was left of this stretch of yarn, and I guess I was going to get more or something. I don't know. But y'all, and we also found the one that Eric had started for Kalani. She was like 4. She's 18. I'm gonna see about finishing this. So yeah, there's that. I was crocheting tight up in this joint too. Oh my gosh. I wanted my baby to have a nice warm blanket. He was like 7 at the time. It's easy to want to be embarrassed about it and be like, why didn't I work on this? But you know what? I'm not gonna do that. We just laughed about it just now. Kalani is over. It's Sunday. She usually comes over on Sunday from college and hangs out. Actually, she usually hangs out with Eric or Josh. She watches TV with Eric, or she plays video games with Josh. And if that seems a bit whack, she and I interact all week long. Like, we text each other. We're constantly sending each other funny videos. We FaceTime every other day at least. We call, we talk. So I kind of don't begrudge her that time with them because I feel like it's fair. I don't like watching TV a whole lot, and they like watching like intense stuff, and I don't. And of course, she and Josh are gaming, and I'm not getting in on that. So I just don't go out there with them when she's over. So my stitches that I'm doing right now are definitely tighter. Maybe I'll loosen them up a bit, because I thought I was doing them as tight as that, but maybe they don't need to be as tight as that, because I'd like them to not be as tight. But the row before it seemed pretty tight. I don't know. Anyway. Uh-oh. I feel like I'm going to get into this a bit like gardening. Like I got into gardening and seeing what it's teaching me. Gosh, I was 35 or 36 when I started doing this blanket. I am 51. Wow. And I definitely have picked up some lessons through life's experiences along the way. I'm pretty sure I had to call my mom while I was working on this. There was not an internet for me to just kind of, I mean, there was, but there definitely wasn't like, I wasn't gonna pop on YouTube and grab a video to figure out how to do this. And what's wild is the person whose video I was watching to kind of get started again, I'm sure she like wasn't even born when I when I first started doing this blanket, because she looks like a young teen or maybe a mid-teen, and maybe she was born, maybe she was like one or two. Life. But what I was saying was that I've learned some valuable life lessons and experiences, and one of them is like that everything has a season. And I knew these things, but having to experience it, the slow going of seasons, man, I just automatically get tight again. The slow going of seasons and how you don't get to rush them. They're going to do what they're going to do. And you just have to learn to walk through seasons with grace and patience. The learning of the fact that the soil has to be prepared, not just adequately, but well. And there's no skipping the work of preparing the soil. And if you don't prepare the soil, you're not going to get a good yield. Like that lesson, having to learn that through the seasons of gardening, through the process of gardening, has been a real one, but not a bad one, but definitely a lesson I've had to learn. and I've appreciated it, but woo-wee. So learning those kinds of lessons, I feel like this is going to be similar. I like that. The mountains of Virginia got jokes this year, y'all. Jokes. All the jokes. See the sunlight and the snow falling? All the jokes. The jokes. Y'all, look at these. Woohoo! They're growing so beautifully. This one, not so much. But they've taken off. They really get going. Once they start, they take off. I love it.